What would you say if your partner asked you to open the relationship? This happened to a friend of mine recently. His wife raised the issue. They had been having a few issues inside the marriage of 20 years and had been attending some counseling. He thought that they were issues which could be sorted out with some counseling and were largely about midlife issues. Is this it? Type of thing. Anyway, one evening his wife raised the issue of having an open marriage. He was absolutely floored. This was something he could never consider, and so they began a fairly quick descent towards divorce. They are now in the middle of a protracted, angry, resentment-filled divorce, and it is a really sad thing to watch. I'm not in a relationship right now, but I've been in polyamorous relationships before. And so far they've always with people who already had partners, who knew and were also open. Never as a secret. It's almost impossible that someone I'm dating in the future isn't at least aware of polyamory. And most likely it's a conversation that happens pretty early on to establish our stances, which likely will include open communication if any other relationships open up. And if she says she doesn't want to at first but changes her mind late on, that's a conversation to have too. Communication is key. Depends what kind of relationship you have with your partner. I am gay. My current BF and I initially talked about things like that but decided nah. We both work 8 to 10 hours a day. On top of it, it's hard to catch up on other errands and chores. At the end of the week we are just tired and want to be in bed and watch Netflix. I don't think we even have the energy to meet a third person. But yeah, if you think you are okay with it and your partner agrees, then have some clear rules and boundaries before even trying. Emo, it's just too complicated. There are lots of other stuff you can try before open relationship. Michael Jackson was the king of pop. Elvis was the king of rock. Who are some other kings and queens of other music genres? George Santos is the queen of drag on Capitol Hill and also a world-famous singer in every genre with the most musical awards in history. Madonna is the queen of pop no matter what the media tries to tell you. George Strait is the king of country music. There's a wiki list for this. I just found it a couple days ago while thinking the same thing. https://n.m. Wikipedia.org/wiki/honorific_nicknames_and_popular_music. Dolly Parton has already been identified as the Queen of Country. She is still belting them out after 50 years. King of Country is harder to pin down because nobody has really dominated for as long. John Denver. Johnny Cash. Willie Nelson, and then we have the modern era moving away from honky-tonk like Keith Urban, who is a magnificent musician. Benny Goodman was actually called the King of Swing during his life. https://n.m. Wikipedia.org/wiki/Benny_Goodman. Artie Shaw was called the king of the clarinet by some in response. https://n.m. Wikipedia.org/wiki/Artie_Shaw. I think there are so many great musicians in different genres who could be considered royalty. For example, in R&B, you could say Aretha Franklin was the queen of soul. In rap, Tupac and Biggie are often referred to as the kings of hip-hop. In jazz, Miles Davis is often considered the king of jazz. And in country, Dolly Parton is often referred to as the queen of country. What is your "it's time to move on" criteria while dating someone? Honestly, now it's just if there's no spark on the first date. I used to give it a few dates to see if something developed, but now if there's nothing after the first, then I stop there. Dating is exhausting enough without trying to force something, and from my experience, if it's not there to start with, it won't be there after 2 or 3 dates either. The sum total of their oddities/rudeness/quirks/irritants outweighs whatever I feel they bring to the table. Once stopped seeing a guy BC, he wore white socks with black dress shoes. But that was just the tipping point. He had a lot of weird quirks and issues. Is going to sound obvious, but if I cannot communicate with them calmly about things that hurt me or I don't feel comfortable around, it's time to move on. When I realize I'm just not that into them. There have been a few times where I've realized after a couple of dates that I really can't be bothered. There was nothing wrong with them. They didn't do anything bad. I just wasn't feeling it and would rather stay in than put in the effort to spend time with them. Which wasn't fair to them. They deserve enthusiasm, so best not to keep dating them even if there was no why I didn't want to see them anymore. When we discuss something 10 times already and he says he will change for the better but he never does. So I just decided to move on, and instead of investing myself into a relationship where I'm not valued, I just want to live for myself now and spend as much time as I want playing video games like Infinity Kingdom on BlueStacks. That makes me more happy. When they seem to not be mature enough, i.e., can't take responsibility for their actions, have emotional reactions that aren't age appropriate, nor do they have their life at the same level as me, financially, living situation, work situation. Most importantly, if they're the cause of all their own problems. Ladies, what beer do you like to drink, whether you're at bars, clubs, parties, or nights out with friends? I don't drink alcohol, so I just get a soda water with lemon. But I'm not against drinking on alcoholic beer. I really like Athletic Brewing Company. Their Upside Down's great. Depends on where I am. Beer is usually my beverage of choice over wine, spirits, or cocktails. I'm partial to IPAs and sours, or Hefeweizen and other wheat beers if I'm looking for something with a lower alcohol content. I am generally not into stouts or other dark beers. Usually too sweet for me. But I love trying out new local styles of beer when I travel. I'm American and currently getting ready for an extended trip to visit my in-laws in New Zealand. So I'm definitely looking forward to sampling the brews there. Bars, a local beer on tap. I love a wheat/Belgian beer. Club, Coors Light or Bud Light in a bottle to hold while dancing/not getting too crazy. Parties, some kind of seltzer. Wine. Or soda water. I'm not a day drinker. So I'll always opt for just a soda water in the day. Night out, some kind of specialty cocktail if at a restaurant. Or a vodka press, faves are blueberry or blood orange. Depends what's on tap. But in order of choice I would go Peroni, Kronenberg, Budweiser, Beck's, Stella, Foster's. I haven't seen Kronenberg round here for yonks, and Peroni you normally get served in the ridiculously tall glasses which don't fit my tiny baby hands. I guess I drink Bud more than the rest as most places have it, but I'm quite happy with any beer or lager as long as it's cold and from a decent keg. Nothing worse than pea-tasting flat lager. Most commonly found in the nightclubs with the sticky floors. Erp.